Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miroslava, the metaphysical chick, multiverse ambassador, here to help you master the matrix by expanding your mind. Today we are talking about extraterrestrials and abductions. I'm also going to share a little bit of my abduction story, what I believe is an abduction story, and I am also bringing a perspective or a channeled message from an extraterrestrial being that is involved in these abductions. So yeah, if you're interested in this, or if you have experienced what you believe to be an abduction and you question why this is happening to you, or if this is something that we should be afraid of, then keep watching. Alright, so let's dive in. Now, I am going to start by sharing a little bit about my abduction story. I'm pretty sure that I've been, taken to the ship multiple times. I've had a lot of dreams in which I am in a spaceship as who I am now. We do travel to these spaceships with our consciousness. We are not physically there. We send our consciousness to those spaceships to interact with our crew, to interact with the beings that we came into this earth with. I'm going to film another video talking about my experience of how I traveled from the Pleiades in another universe to this universe, and well, my consciousness did. So I'll be diving more into that. But so going back to my abduction, during this time I was connecting a lot with the hybrid children. So I was getting to know my own hybrid children and the hybrid children in general. And I remember one night I came to my room, I was ready to go to sleep, and I felt this very strong presence in my room. And I knew, I felt that they were here to take me. And I remember I walked to the bathroom and I felt this being, and I'm gonna insert a picture here of the being that looks similar to what I have in my mind, what I picture in my mind. But this being was just standing in the corner of my room, what that is next to the door to the bathroom, and I could feel the presence. I couldn't see it, but I could feel this very strong presence in my room. And so I walked to the bathroom, I came out, and I was like, oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I know it, I can feel it. And I said to this being, you can take me as long as you take me to see my little baby boy, because at the time I became aware of Amethyst, and he is a Nesasani baby boy hybrid that my genetics were utilized to create. And so I was like, yeah, I'll go, but I'm gonna go see my boy, and then you can do whatever you want with me. And so I went to sleep, and then the next morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, nothing happened. Did anything happen? And then I was sitting in my bed, and I started to just take a look at my body, analyze my body, see if I could see any signs that I was taking. And I did find in my arm a red dot. And it was like, like a needle. Like a needle was utilized in my arm, and I could see the dot. And then I also saw a scratch in my inner thigh. I saw like these physical things that didn't make any sense, because I was just asleep. Why do I have a scratch? Why do I have this red dot in where the vein is? And then I was tuning in to just the experience and see if I could connect or I could remember anything. But I just had this sense that indeed I was taken, and I was taken by this being that is part of the hybridization program. And so they took more of my genetics to keep creating or birthing these hybrid children. Again, this picture of this being is what I have in my mind. Again, I didn't see this being in person, but I could feel the energy very strong in my room. And so I just wanted to share a little bit of this story, even though I don't have a lot of information, don't remember. I do feel like there was some sort of connection with the hybrid children, and that I was indeed taken to create more of these hybrid children. So yeah, that's what I have here as an experience. Again, if you do have an experience yourself that you would like to share, leave it in the comments. I want to know. All right, and now I am going to share a message from a being that is part of these abductions. And First, I reached out because I wanted to know why some people experience more of this extraterrestrial contacts, because we have a lot of these people talking about how they see extraterrestrials, how they have communication in person with these beings, or how they are taken to inside the earth to, have communication there. And I wanted to know why some people experience this and why others, like myself, I don't experience much physical contact, why we don't. So I am going to read their response to my questions. I do have them on my phone. And yeah, so let's get started. Why do some people experience more physical encounters with aliens or extraterrestrials than others? And this was this being's response. Some beings need external validation in order to believe. Others are more tuned in and require no external or physical validation to believe anything. They simply go with the feeling because they are more sensitive to energy and are able to see through many layers of distortion. These people who need validation are more left brain individuals. They are more analytical in nature, scientific, if you may. In order to believe in the existence of something, they have to see it with their own eyes. These extraterrestrial encounters, abductions, or paranormal events are part of their soul contract. These encounters planted a seed that allows them to slowly wake up, or at times, abruptly wake up. This is definitely not the desired way of coming online due to the trauma that it generates, so we try to ensure that individuals are ready for the encounter, showing up as something that brings them comfort. And now, a lot of what this being is saying is that some of the beings that have these physical encounters, they do so because that's what's going to bring them online. That's what's going to connect them to their memories or to activate the memories that they have for what they are here to do as beings. Other beings, like myself, we don't experience this physical contact because we are more energetically in tune, more energetically aligned. And so we don't need these physical experiences in order to remember who we are. Another thing that is being mentioned is that there are soul contracts, and so some of the people, like for example, Corey Good, like he's one of the people, he's one of the beings that is out there sharing about all of these amazing experiences that he's had and intel that he receives from extraterrestrial beings. And this is part of his contract, this is part of his soul contract, this is part of what he's here to do, and so it happens to him. But a lot of us, we don't have that in our contract. We don't need that physical experience or those physical interactions in order to do what we are here to do, so it's not necessary for us. What about the stories of wild extraterrestrial abductions we hear nowadays in the mainstream media or just people sharing? And what this being said is, think of it this way: there are hundreds of encounters or abductions happening each day, with hundreds of thousands more happening each year. So what you hear of, the scary abduction stories, are but a very small percentage. As mentioned earlier, we do our best to ensure people are comfortable. We take the necessary precautions to ensure that people remember only what they are capable of handling depending on their level of consciousness. Know that our intention is never to harm anyone. We take or give only what has been consented before incarnating on this planet. There are contracts in place. We hope this makes sense. Now, again, this being is bringing up the contracts. And so I know we've all heard about the crazy abduction stories. And there's a movie called Fire in the Sky, I believe. I believe that's the name. I'll leave a link in the description. And when I watched that movie, I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, that is fucking terrifying. We have other movies like The Fourth Kind. My sister and I, we both agreed that this is the most terrifying movie we've ever seen. These are real people in real stories, and it's just really terrifying the way, these abduction stories are told. What I know about the Greys, which is a large portion of the beings that takes part of these abductions, they are, well, first of all, it's been said that they are humans from the future. We have evolved so much that we have completely disconnected from our emotions. So when they are interacting with fellow humans, because they are from the future, they are completely interacting in an analytical way. You know, they are not feeling any emotions, they have no empathy, but that doesn't mean that these beings are evil or that they are really wanting to harm us. It just means that they can't relate to human emotions because they evolved so much that they are completely disconnected from the emotional body. And so I believe this to be one of the reasons why these abductions are so terrifying, because we want to get empathy, we want to connect with other beings, and we can't with these beings because they don't have any emotions. And so it's terrifying. But yeah, I also believe that, you know, it's part of our contract. If we are abducted and we wake up or we become conscious or aware during these abductions and we remember, then, you know, it's not meant to happen. We're not meant to remember when we are abducted because it can be terrifying for the human. The human mind is so used to seeing things a specific way, and so a change of environment, a change of energy and frequency is too much for the human to understand, for the human brain to understand. And so we try to make sense of what is taking place, and it just creates shock. It creates more fear within us and just a lot more confusion. So what I'm receiving right now is that what they try to do is they try to put our consciousness to sleep. So we may be awake at the time, but when they bring us back to wherever we were when we were abducted, they kind of put our consciousness to sleep. Our memories are kind of hidden from us in order for us to keep living our lives without actually remembering what happened. And this is the most empathy that I feel these beings have for us, because again, they don't have any emotions, but they do know, they understand the human, and they know that we are very emotional and sensitive beings. So they do try to do something within our consciousness to hide those memories so that we can live on or go on with our lives without kind of like going back to that memory and thinking about what happened and trying to make sense of it. So we're not meant to remember, but some people do, and that's when it gets really scary. So yeah, that's what I have for you today. Just a little bit about these abductions and my perspective, and also the perspective of this being that, you know, takes part of these abductions. So what do you think? Have you been abducted? Is fear attached to those memories that you have from this abduction? Or maybe you're like me and you just have like these glimpses and flashes of maybe little pieces of things that happened during those abductions, but you don't really remember, and perhaps you think that it's all a dream, because I've had several experiences and sometimes I'm just like, maybe that's just a dream. But again, dreams are glimpses into our past and our future in different timelines. So maybe it's all very much real. We just, you know, we can't fully understand it. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, my friend, definitely leave me a like, subscribe to my channel. There is a lot more content that I will be bringing to you. If you do want to support me, I do have the link to my PayPal account. So if you want to make a donation, it's very much appreciated. But you can also check out my website for more information about me, what I do. And yeah, also links to my social media are in the description. So you can find me in TikTok, Instagram, yeah, TikTok and Instagram at The Metaphysical Chick. I am on Facebook as Miroslava Casiano. And yeah, it was great talking to you today. And if you have any ideas for videos that you want me to make, or if you have any questions that I can tune in with these extraterrestrial beings to answer for you, then leave them in the comments. And yeah, so we'll see you next time, my friend.